Hi, everyone. This is Michael from Action Karate, and I'm here with Miss B this morning. And I asked her just to stick around for a little bit after our morning meeting just to share about her experience. So, Miss B, can you share with us what you were doing professionally before you started your career with Action?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a very exciting career. I was a journalist. I did crime reporting in Florida, which is like the mecca of interesting crimes. I also went on to do public relations. And I worked for a lobbyist doing like big time public relations, dealing with professional sports teams and really, really big organizations, crisis communications, all kinds of high stress, high impact um, work.
So, one of the things I loved about visiting you in Florida was you always had these amazing stories from your career. And it seemed like you were having a great time doing it. You always, there was always like something exciting to share. What led you to make the decision to give that up, to start your own business and, be a professional martial artist?
Great question. What I found was that what I was lacking in my life was the ability to enjoy my job and my family at the same time. That's a very, I think, cliche answer that you hear from a lot of parents who make a fair change. But it wasn't just the life I wanted, like with my kids. It was also like I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to see my parents as often as I wanted to. I wanted to make my own schedule. All these lifestyle things. I wanted to be able to work out in a, be in a physically moving environment. I didn't want to be at a desk. I didn't want someone yelling at me during the day. I liked having exciting experiences. I liked writing things and then seeing them pop up on, the national news networks and being part of that scene, going to conventions and all those different events. But at the same time, it was a 24/7 effect on my mental state. Like I was always on, I was always waiting for the next thing to happen with work. And I got to the point where it just wasn't worth it anymore. And I realized I could actually make more money and have a better life here. I used to say that I went from like writing about the worst experience in people's lives. So like crime, of course, that's like the worst thing, other than a crime victim or getting arrested for something horrible. When I went into public relations, it was a politician did something awful. And I had to try to figure out how to make it better. A video got leaked. I mean, really, I would say scandalous things, like a really bad part of someone's day. And I had to try to boost that up. At karate, we can actually do that day to day in every single class, boost people up. I actually have to share the story. I just heard a story about someone who went to a gym and was doing sit-ups and people were counting for him, like 1, 2, 3. And he said, I never want to leave this gym. It's the best place I've ever been. Well, it turned out they were actually making fun of him because he was doing the sit-ups wrong. But that sentiment of showing up and having people like actually cheer for you and being like, let's go do this. Actually, we do that every day. We do that to kids who generally don't have anyone at school who's like, wow, you're really athletic. You're really smart. They're just kind of getting along. So when they come to karate, they get this experience and it's fun. It's fun to be like, all right, let's go, let's do this. And everybody has a worst part of their day. Like every one of our students has something bad that they've experienced that we can actually do something to make it better, which is very satisfying.
No, I love that. And we hear that, you've heard that before when other people have shared about we get to be the best part of someone's day. Your transition. So, you left a successful career. You
Mhm.
also moved from Florida back to Philadelphia. So you had a big, life change in that respect. What was the most challenging part in the beginning of making the transition, moving, starting your business? You have two kids, you had a lot happening. What was the most challenging part?
Uh, Definitely, my kids were in a great school. I liked that, and also the beach was really nice in Florida. The weather was fantastic. Lots of available parking was amazing, and so moving, to Philadelphia in a city environment was a big lifestyle change. But like the thing that I found was that my kids would have more opportunities and a better lifestyle growing up if I raised them here in the karate environment, because everything that I put them in Florida, in really in high-end orchestra or lacrosse or soccer or any of these other programs, were in my experience, they were expensive and they were activities. They didn't do what I saw happening at Action Karate when I would visit the schools up here in Philly, and I would say like, oh my gosh, I wish that my kids had this. And then thought how silly it was to even be wishing this when I could just do this myself. And so I feel a little empowered saying that and doing it. I hope other people feel that way. The other thing I'll say, and I'm really proud of this, is that if you are thinking about making the career change, what's really interesting in the martial arts world is I found that no matter what background people have come from, they're able to apply that knowledge or that skill set or that passion to the martial arts. So, for example, I write. That was what I did in the past. So I write blogs about martial arts, and I really enjoy that. I wrote books about martial arts. I just applied it. There's people who are therapists, and they have found that like being there for someone in martial arts is really great for them. And so I think it's a really creative environment where you can really be yourself and include what you did before to make yourself a more dynamic instructor.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's one of the things that makes our team so special is it's such a diverse background of people with so many different experiences for sure. I know you shared it a little bit already, but you opened your first location 5 years ago.
Sure.
Looking back over the past 5 years, what's been the most rewarding part for you?
By far, hands down, the most rewarding part has been being able to hire people into professions that they never even imagined that they could have, and then being really good, like being able to walk out of my school and knowing I don't have to show up for the next couple of weeks because my team is so fantastic. I know that they know their jobs and they're going to handle it. And I also find that it's not just not being there, but it's also seeing them like beam. For me personally, seeing people to black belt, it's rewarding and it's great. Seeing those people then leading to the next group of people for me is like the Yahtzee. I read in a book recently, The CEO Within, that like there's like something that you're excellent at, and then there's something that like is your genius level. And I just thought, like, for me, I think I'm excellent at teaching karate. I don't think I'm at genius level, but I am pursuing genius level at helping people find a career in martial arts that really matches their niche ability. Because if you look at our instructors, they one was a college professor of art, one is a former construction manager, a model, like a senior citizen, like all different stages in their lives. And we found a place for each of them. And, a 16-year-old who has autism, like we have lots of different people, but we found a role that just fits them, where we have enough of the good stuff that hits exactly what they want for a career, that they're not this generation that's like, doesn't want to go to work. They're like, oh, this is a calling. This is great. And that is what is very satisfying for me.
I thought that's amazing. Anybody watching this that has any questions for you or wants to hear more about your experience, can they reach out to you?
It would be like an honor for me to be able to be part of somebody else's journey to do what I've done. And I don't want to get too emotional about it, but like that is my dream. That's the legacy I want to leave for my children.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you, ma'am.